With next month's Grand Départ on home soil, fans might have expected to see both the last two Tour winners, Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome, line up for Team Sky. But when Wiggins recently announced he was unlikely to be selected, it created a debate concerning the selection of the team, the like of which has rarely been seen in the sport. InCycle caught up with the team supremo, Dave Brailsford, and asked him how difficult it was to create the perfect winning blend while keeping the fans happy.
Terrifically difficult. You know, we're all human. You know, I love this sport. You know, we've got fantastic champions. Bradley's a brilliant champion. He's been brilliant for this country. Chris Froome's a brilliant champion. Mark Cavendish is a brilliant champion. Lizzie Armstead's a brilliant champion. And we've got champions coming out of our ears in cycling in this sport. Vicky Pendleton, Chris Hoy, you can name them. Jason Kenny, you know, Laura Trott now. The challenge is this. When you come look at a sports team, at times you come up against some pretty tricky situations and you have to make a decision about, are you going to try and win and what will it take? And then you look at all the information and then you have to think about, right, there's emotion over here and there's logic over here. And my job, if I want to pick winning teams, which I have done for quite some time now, is to take the emotion out of it and think, right, what is the best way to win this race? We've got a guy in this team who's performed at such a high level for over 2 years, Chris Froome, that there is no doubt, there is no question.
The emotional debate in question stems from the well-reported clash of personality between Wiggins and Froome on whether such a potentially volatile relationship can form the basis for a team chasing the Maillot Jaune.
When you think about sporting decisions, you know, along the way, if you want to win, you know, you've got to make tough decisions, really tough decisions. And some of them, you know, you've got to stand back and think about, what are we trying to do? Where are we trying to get to? And then you've got to gather information, look at the facts, and logically try and make a decision based on, are you trying to win or not? So it's not just about Chris and Brad. I think you look at the whole group dynamic, you look at the whole dynamic of the team, you look at relationships, and you look at how commitment is and how willing people are to sacrifice and suffer and give themselves for somebody else's benefit and the team's benefit. And that all comes into consideration. So it's not just about maybe two people if there's any friction, it's about how that might affect the entire group. It's about how that might affect the entire staffing team. You want a unified team who are absolutely going for the same goal if you want to be successful in this race, and we'll be taking that into consideration for sure.
Team Sky's director may have cast Froome in the role of leading man, but the supporting cast has yet to be chosen and won't be until after the Tour de Suisse, which features Wiggins. And although a less than ideal Dauphiné for Froome and for Sky has added to the debate, Brailsford is adamant he'll stick to his tried and tested methods rather than bowing to outside pressure.
We have a set way of doing things, we have for a long time, and what we have is access to a lot of information and a lot of ideas. We're constantly looking at the latest thinking, we're constantly looking at who's doing what, we're constantly looking at, you know, how we can mould all this situation and bring it all together when we finally select the team. And of course people can share that information now if they want, or but inside the team we have a process, and just because other people want maybe sharing information, we're not going to share our information. We're going to stick to our process. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to get to the end where we sit down with our blank piece of paper with as much data and full information as possible at the right moment in time, and we'll pick the best team.